Giant turtles are among the many sea creatures for whom coral reefs are a vital natural habitat. But that home is changing. In addition to the danger of being caught in fishing nets, turtles and manta rays are seeing those reefs dying out. Here, 4 meters underwater, just off the island of St. Kitts, the natural world seems fine, but first impressions can be deceptive. Just 2 kilometers away, the coral reefs are in a critical condition. Representatives from the fishing authorities of 6 Caribbean nations are on a diving expedition here organized by the Nature Conservancy. The non-governmental organization has launched a large-scale project to investigate the condition of coral reefs in the Caribbean, with the ultimate aim of saving them. Among the guests emerging from today's dive is Christopher Alain from Grenada.
It was amazing to see the coral, the fish, the lobster. The life down there is really good. And I like to see what I'm seeing.
Although the general situation around the Caribbean's smaller islands is far from good. The strait between St. Kitts and Nevis is known as the Narrows, measuring less than 4 kilometers wide. This stretch of water is traversed every day by fishing boats, water taxis, cruise ships, and local ferries. And that leads to conflicts. The Nature Conservancy wants to see the creation of defined zones called marine managed areas. One would be reserved for fishermen only, the other for tourists.
The fishermen traditionally, they set their pots in the Narrows, but what you're finding that because it's the nursery ground, if it is that the pots are there and they're taking the juvenile fish, then those juvenile fish do not get to live to be older and to be bigger. And as scientists, we know that a small fish produces a lot less egg, millions of less eggs than a larger fish. And so the longer you let them grow, the more eggs they can produce and the more you get out of your fishery.
On some days, the fishermen's first port of call is inland, to a forest to find wood for new fish traps. They take their wood from myrtle trees. Myrtle trees grow back quickly. They're accompanied by Sherry Constantine, an environmentalist, who wants to gain insights into the fishermen's daily operations. That will in turn enable her to decide what changes are needed and where. Traps like these have been used for decades here. The fishermen only haul them out of the sea once a week. But due to growing tourism, they're sometimes unable to find their traps when water taxis or diving boats rip their markings loose.
Well, I think it can be very difficult, especially with you as human nature. When somebody has been doing something for a very long time, it gets harder and harder for you to convince them that you need to do something in a different way. And so that's one of the reasons why, like, a fisher cooperative is important as well. Because if you have a very good, a charismatic leader who can mobilize and move the fishers to act in a particular way, then this person can cause change to happen in the country.
We see why the changes are so critical for the fishermen the day after. They set out to sea at 5 in the morning. But the haul for the day is minimal, as so often these days. With stocks of profitable fish depleted, the men now settle for smaller specimens that nobody used to eat. It's often barely enough to make a living, and many have already quit the trade.
Well, it gets slow. It really gets slow. It gets real slow.
Difficult.
Yeah, that's why we do other kind of work that you could get $1.
St. Kitts faces a conflict of interests. The island lives off tourism, and hotel operators say the fishermen cast their nets and traps too close to their exclusive beaches. The practice is to be banned in the future to allow the few corals left to survive.
I want to see the fishing industry not just continue, but prosper. And I firmly believe that management of areas like the Narrows, which is a nursery, and strict management of it would be for the benefit of the fishing industry, the island, and my personal business.
At a workshop, environmental scientists and government guests from across the Caribbean meet to discuss how to resolve the conflicting interests of fishermen and hotel managers.
The project partners like
Many of the islands already have marine managed zones, although in Grenada's case, it took 2 years to set up.
The same set of fishermen who said they were going to take bread away from them, saying, we want more protected area. So they're actually seeing a different impact.
Unless more action is taken soon, however, the corals will die out, meaning even fewer fish. The hope is that the marine managed area between St. Kitts and Nevis will allow young sea creatures to reproduce in peace again and spare turtles the deadly threat of being caught in fishing nets.